Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. I have, and for those of you that are 18 and older, if you like the content that I share on my channel and you like what I create, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you really like what I create, and you want to be notified every time I upload a video, just hit the bell button, and every time I upload a new video you will actually get an alert to that. So if you're not subscribed, you have to be subscribed in order to be notified. So anyway guys, I have been cleaning up my desk, and I've been talking back and forth with my friend Carolyn because she pretty much keeps her craft area tidy. I do not. And every time I record, I have to excuse myself because if I lift up the phone or the camera too much, you guys can see everything that's on the perimeter of my desk, because I have this small area that I work in and everything else around it is cluttered up. So I'm trying to get that cleaned up. Also, something I did different is I usually have a glass mat right here, or a glass that I work on, and it gives out a lot of glare, so that wasn't good, and you could see the reflection of my light and everything. So I decided to move my Carnation Craft mat over here because it's matte and it's white, and hopefully I think this will work better when I'm recording. Anyway, as I was cleaning up my craft room, my problem is that I have a lot of scrap paper, and my stamps and my dies get buried under. When I'm working on something, it gets buried under all those scraps of paper. So the main thing that I had on my area, on my table, was scraps. So I decided to go ahead and just sort all of that out. And it turns out that I use white a lot. I use white and black cardstock a lot, but the one I use the most is white. So I had a bunch of it. And I have been asked, like, because I do a lot of printing from Carnation Craft, sometimes people will ask me, well, that's a lot of waste, isn't it? What do you do with, with the extra? Well, what I do with the extra is right here. As you can see right here, this has printing on it because I had printed something, and I had the scraps, and I'll share with you what that looks like. And I have a bunch of scraps that are pretty much like this, and I mean, you got about 2 inches here and maybe an inch and a half here that is waste, or what we consider waste. But what I do with it, I cut out, if I cut a die that is very thin and I want to make it more sturdy, well, I cut it out several times and I use scraps. And normally my paper, if it's printed, it's only printed on one side. So I will actually layer my die on the printed side, because when I use it to back up anything, no matter what the die cut is, the printed side will not be shown because it actually has a pretty layer on top. So that's what I do with those scraps. And I accumulated another basket, yet another basket of them. And I went through it and kept the bigger pieces that I knew I could get something out of it. And so that's what I did. So I decided to cut out some words because I think that's the one thing that I don't have too much in my die cut stash. I do have a few that my friend Jacqueline sent me, but I have some nice dies that I like. And when I was going through them, I found this one by Spellbinders, and I love the font. Look at the font. Well, you can see it right here on my desk. It is beautiful. What I like about this is this is not seasonal. Like if we order something that has Christmas words or Easter or 4th of July or Valentine's Day, I think other than the word love on Valentine's Day, you really can't use too much of it the rest of the year. Well, this is something that you can use all the time. So it's a good one to have in your stash. And I hadn't played with it. I've had it a while and hadn't cut anything out, so I decided to go ahead and do that. And this is what they look like. This one I already backed up several, I think it's like the main layer and 2 more or something like that to make it a little bit more sturdy, because when you cut them out, here, let me grab one from here. You know, it cuts out beautifully, but they are very thin, and you know, they can easily lose their shape. So I wanted to make them more sturdy, and these dies cut really well. The only thing I had problem with is I had some heavy gold glitter cardstock that it had trouble cutting through, or cleanly cutting through. I like it to be a clean cut. But other than that, with any of my foil paper, and I don't use thin foil paper, you know, it's fairly thick, and my regular white cardstock, it cut beautifully through that. So the only thing that I do is I'll cut out several, like right here I have the word happy, and if I want to make this word happy thicker, I only have, yep, I have one extra layer on there so far, but I want to make it as thick as birthday. I just take my my glue, and I'm using this bigger nozzle glue because my little one is clogged up and it's taking a long time to come in. And I normally use those little bottles that we all use that have that fine tip, and then we have to refill. Well, the problem with that, I think it's too it's not very easy to fill these up, even if you have a funnel, or I have trouble, and I don't like struggling. So I ordered something that was bigger and had a bigger opening, but it had a fine tip. So that's what I'm going to be using when it comes in. Whoops. So as you can see, I'm having to use this big one, and I'm having to be careful on how much glue gets on my die cuts. So all I do is I actually layer up the backing ones first, because the more you layer them up, the more sturdy they become. And when you go to layer the pretty one, it's easier to do that because this is pretty sturdy. So I'm going to add one more because I cut out 3 from my scraps. Kind of just using up my scraps and kind of eliminating some of them. I won't throw them away. I will use them. I'm very funny about that. I don't like to waste. And here's the next one. And you can just take this slowly, you know. You don't have to rush. It's not a marathon. The slower you go, the better and the cleaner your work is going to be. Another thing that I do is I keep a paper towel, not one that when you wet it just dissolves. I use like a better quality paper towel, and if I don't want to get glue on everything, I use the paper towel to press it down. And so if any glue seeps out, it'll be on the paper towel and not on anything else. You know, it catches it. So there it is. This is pretty sturdy already, and now we're just going to add the last layer, which is the metallic one. And like I said, I don't want to use a lot of glue, but right now I really don't have a choice. And you can go back and kind of rub off some of the extra glue if you wanted to. So here is the word happy. And I'm just going to go ahead and take my time about layering it so I can do it right. And then I just put it down flat, and I'll either use my palm right here or a paper towel. The only thing, when I use my palm, of course, I get glue on myself, but if I use a paper towel, I don't get it on anything. So there it is. Now this word is nice and sturdy, just like birthday. And they'll look nicer on my project. It'll look like they have some type of dimension. I have a box here that I can put it on. They'll look like they have a little dimension on them just by layering up the die cuts. So anyway, that's what I have been doing. I have been cutting out some words to eliminate a little bit of my scraps. I don't want to add to my scrap pile. So I've been cutting out some things, uh, and I also need to cut out more of these dolls for my friends, and a lot of those pieces are big enough that I can cut them out to where they're layering pieces to give the piece stability and use up my scraps. I will link this set in the description box by Spellbinders. It is still available. It definitely is a must-have in a craft room, because we always need happy birthday, hello, thanks. So it's something that we can use all the time. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day, and I hope this helps you on what to do with when your scraps are building up. Just, you know, sit down with your machine. I have the mini Anna Griffin one, and I can layer several of these and just be running it on scraps, and I don't even have to layer them together. All I need to do is cut them out in my scraps, and when I go to use a word, I can just have to cut it once with the pretty, whether I'm doing metallics or pinks or whatever I happen to be doing. But I'll already have a pile in a little bag, and I keep my die cuts in notebooks that I can just go in there and get, you know, 2 or 3 of the hello die cuts and layer them up to stabilize my pretty one, and they're good to go. Also, another thing, I also keep smaller pieces because I do have smaller words. Like when I'm doing rosettes, so I have these that are really small that would fit in just about any little, I don't know, 5/8 of an inch strip. So if I have a strip that's 5/8 of an inch, I'm going to keep it because I'm going to cut something out of it. And then these are a little bit bigger. So that just gives you an idea, and that way you always have a sentiment available to put on any of your projects. Thanks for watching. I hope everybody's having a great day. And again, I will link these dies, and if I can find the other ones, I'm not sure if I can find the other ones, but I know the Spellbinders one is available, so I'll link it in the description box. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day. Bye.